When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and tonight we are at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Tech4Troops Cup event here. I'm Rick Souza, and joined tonight in the booth, my special co-broadcaster is Jordan Booth. You may know that name if you watch our Thursday night series in the INRS series. Jordan's been a frequent winner on that circuit and is currently leading the points. So, Jordan, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come join you today.
You got it. So tonight we have got the Tech4Troops series here. They're competing here. This is their 6th race. Right now qualifying is underway. Let's see if we can bring up some best times right now. So right now, no surprise, Justin Horton with, well, I take that back. Mike Slaughter, Jeff Nara now is on top of the board with sub 30 second time, and here, this is one of those tracks where the first lap is not your fastest lap. So as we said, qualifying is underway here. Let's go through a little bit about tonight's race information. And Jordan, you're welcome to chime in at any time. So you've got 125 laps. There are 35 driver slots. And tonight, right now, let's get a count. There's just 35 entries, I believe, so no one will go home, but it has happened in the past. Pit road speed is 45. Again, this is one of those leagues where there is no quick repair, so you pretty much, you wreck it, you own it. You've got to get it repaired or you sit on the sidelines. They've got 5 sets of tires. It's only 50% fuel, so Jordan, what were your thoughts on miles?
I think we can go about 40 laps on this tank of fuel tonight.
All right, so just around 40 laps of fuel, so we'll see how that goes. Of course, obviously, that's green flag laps. If we wind up having a lot of, unfortunately, caution flags flying, then we'll reevaluate that number. But we'll see how the race goes. But tonight, as qualifying is still underway, almost done, what do you think the keys for tonight's race will be?
I think definitely tire wear will be a big one. Making sure you keep that right front on it so we can keep turning on corner exit will be big to keep that momentum going down the straightaways. Making sure you get some clean air on that front end, really help the car turn. In the center of the corner will be big, and then pit entry and pit exit as well. Charlotte has a notorious bump on pit exit that can catch you sleeping if you're not ready for it and spin you out. So making sure you avoid that getting off will be big to making sure you have a good night.
All right. That's Scotty Grove currently on the track now. He is, I think, our last car to qualify, and he just put up a time that's 9. Is currently sitting in 9th. I think he is the last car to qualify. Yep. All right, so we've just got about just around 30, 40 seconds left. And we will wrap up qualifying here, and we'll get you that starting grid. Charlotte's a fun track. The funny thing is, Charlotte is kind of like my home track. I live about 20 minutes outside of where the Charlotte Motor Speedway is, so this is kind of like the track I've been to probably more than any track in the area.
This next-gen car has kind of revitalized this track. It's produced some great racing, and hopefully it will again tonight.
Absolutely. All right, that ends our qualifying period. As soon as we have it, we will get you our grid for tonight's race. Really looking forward to this. It should be a lot of fun.
Definitely should be.
All right, we do have some competitors beginning to grid up, and that means we can bring you tonight's grid. All right, starting on the pole, Chris Worrell in the 06 to his outside, his teammate, James Lowe in the 07. Jeff Nerin sits in third in the 27, and to his outside, Lilith Peters in the 01. Christopher Howell finds himself in the top 5, with Mike Sogter in the 14 to his outside. Dalton Shy is in 7th, Sammy Harrell in 8th, Scotty Grove in 9th, and Aaron Jackson in 10th.
In 11th, we got John Ledger. 12th, we got Stephen Gibson Jr. 13th, Justin Horton. 14th, Wyatt Gray. 15th, William Carn. 16th, Greg Stone. 17th, Philip Vandertwick. 18th, Christoph Hall. 19th, Nathan Harper. And 20th, Garrett Johnston.
In 21st, Charles Van Scoik. 22nd, Dustin Coggin. 23rd is Ty Bostic. 24th, Jeremy Flanagan. In 25th, Zach Ward. 26th is Rodney Uberpacker. In 27th, Pete Woodrum. 28th, Bobby Gibson. 29th for Luke Bullard. And 30th is Alex Linney.
31st, we have David Watts. 32nd, Cody Sturgill. 33rd and last car to put up a time is Ryan Cook. And then rounding out our field in 34th is Zachary Allen.
All right, that's our field for tonight's race. Mr. Chris Worrell will be our control car, and he will lead this group down to the start-finish line and get this race underway. We're just waiting for a car or two to join in, and we'll get moving. So,
I've seen Chris race a little bit, and obviously he was kind enough to broadcast some of my races in INRS, and from what I've seen, Chris seems to be kind of a class above the rest as far as consistency goes, leading the points right now, I think, and I mean, it just seems like he's always there, and now starting on pole here.
Absolutely. All right, so we are underway here as we watch the cars take off from their grid position. A lot of pretty paints tonight in the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at Charlotte. Thank you for tuning in. tires are getting gridded up. And again, as I was saying earlier, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast. If you take the opportunity to like and subscribe, we'll keep you up to date with events that we have here and in our Thursday night series, which is the INRS series. Tomorrow night we will be at Bristol Motor Speedway for a night race, and that will be their cutoff race for the end of the first round of their playoffs.
Should be an exciting one. And I think we got an exciting one brewing tonight as well here.
Absolutely, and I think this will be under lights. We'll get this race underway. Race car's about to drop off. Chris Royal takes the field into the Geico restart zone, and this race is underway.
Great restart from Chris there. Bad restart from the third place position car. He dropped back pretty far here on the start.
Field on the backstretch now. So far, so good. Lilith Peters moves up and is tucked in behind the 07. That is James Lowe to the outside.
It's exactly what Chris wants to see behind him. Get him too wide, get him to use up their stuff early, and hopefully he can drive away from him here.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those tracks where you've got to find that right sweet spot between not burning up your stuff but still being able to make speed.
For sure. It's very easy to get aggressive on entry here and use up your stuff. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Chris here with that wider apex in and then hugging that line all the way around. I think he's got it dialed in for sure. Oh, and as I say that, gave him the commentator's curse.
Well, that's his teammate on his outside there. This is also one of those tracks where you probably could find that high line a bit, see if that would work for you.
Oh, for sure. We're seeing here James Lowe using it to perfection here, able to keep up with Chris, and might be passing him here in a second.
James will be credited with leading a lap, so that will be 1 point added to his tally in the points race. That's also important here as these drivers work their way toward the playoffs.
This is a great battle here up at the front first. No driver willing to give an inch, but yet keeping it off each other. This is really good stuff right here.
Lilith Peters sitting in the 01 is just waiting back there. She's got Mike Slaughter to the inside, but she's waiting for an opportunity.
First 4 cars, just how we started this race, 2 by 2.
Looking on back to the field, not a whole lot has changed. Although Nathan Harper has found himself up 6 spots. Nathan Harper is in that number 4 car. He is to the outside behind John Ledger in the 19. He is plus 7 now as he works his way back through the field, sitting in 12th.
It's quite surprising to see him qualify 19th. I don't normally expect that out of him. I've seen him do some really, really good things here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him in the top 5 here shortly.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where sometimes if you get a little aggressive in qualifying, all it takes is a little bit of brush with the wall. And the way iRacing works, for those of our viewers who are not familiar, is if you tag a wall or you just get a little bit of damage, they discount that lap. And if that happens to be your fast lap, all they'll count as your first lap, and which is typically not your fastest way around the track.
Things just got tight there with the top 3. Lowe almost cleared himself in front of Peters there. Almost all caution here.
Well, here we are. This is lap 7. These were, as we begin to chew into the laps here, you will begin to see these tires go away somewhere around lap 20. And for those drivers, maybe not up here at the front, but maybe further on back in the pack, and you're not taking care of your stuff, it's going to get really hairy really fast.
Oh, for sure. You're going to start seeing some guys not being able to hold the bottom, drifting up, and that's whenever we might see some yellow flags start to fly.
All right, James Lowe is out in front. Lilith Peters has put herself in second. Mike Slogger is there in third. Chris Morrell sits in fourth, and Sammy Harrell sits in fifth. We'll bring up that tower to give you a list of who's currently in the top 20. And also try to spotlight a little bit of battles that are happening back in the field. You see John Ledger there. He's currently sitting in 8th. He's got that low line to those outside is the 18 of Justin Horton.
Kind of back here in the low teens, we got just a gaggle of cars here fighting for around 15th position. It just looks like one of those situations you don't want to find yourself in as a race car driver.
Yeah, that's the 48 in Phil Vandertwick back there sitting in 14th. You know, they're 2 wide, almost 3 wide.
This is a very easy situation to get your car all torn up on lap 11 here, so good on these guys for keeping it clean so far. It's just one of those situations where it's almost too early to push, but at the same time you got to try and find track position where you can.
Yeah, you see that's the 95 of Scotty Grove there. Scotty finds himself, he tried the high line a bit, he's dropped down low, but you know, and also Ty Bostic is back there, he's just 3 wide. You saw that 72 be a little bit jumpy. That's Jeremy Flanagan there with Kaiju Cat Motorsports, who is just a little bit out of shape. Looking on back through here, and as we get back towards the tail end of the field, you know, you're going to see some drivers that here we are at lap 12 find the car just doesn't want to turn as well, and they pick up a bit of a push.
For sure. Looks like we're almost single file back here till about 13th. 2 cars too wide here for about 9th-ish place. But other than that, looking pretty single file. As I say that, Chris Worrell up to the top side, looking to take 3rd from Slagter.
And he does. He moves himself up into 3rd, but maybe a little bit of a crossover opportunity if Mike can get a run.
One thing I'm noticing is it's really, really hard to complete a pass on the bottom, but it seems like it's a lot easier to complete a pass on the top. Just wonder if these guys that are running the bottom are trying to save their tires a little bit compared to those running the top, as the 19 just brushed the wall in turn 2.
That would be the 19 of John Ledger. Working his way around the 88 of Christopher Howell. You can see a little bit of front right damage on that 19. He did make a little bit more than rushing. That's a lot of front end damage on that 19.
Not what you want to see on lap 15.
No, I think he almost had a little bit of contact with the left rear of the 88. That makes for a bad day.
Definitely be something to keep an eye on for sure. See if one of these pit stops he comes down and gets it fixed, or if he rolls with it for the rest of the day.
Chris Morrell has moved his way around the 01 of Lilith Peters and puts himself back into 2nd place. So our 1 and 2 is now 2 and 1. James Lowe, Chris Morrell. They basically swapped positions from our initial order.
Once again, this kind of battle for around the 19th spot is just a hornet's nest. I mean, we got guys on top of each other, 2 wide, sometimes almost 3 wide. It's pretty intense back there.
They're looking back right now here, like 15, 20. It's a hornet's nest of racers back here. Continuing to battle, 2 wide. This is exactly where we would find. This is exactly where we would find a caution coming out of stuff back here.
Sure, Rick. All these battles and stuff have allowed the top 5 or so to kind of break away. Looks like they have almost about 7 to 8 tenths back to 6th place. So start to scoot away. Looks like Chris is going to try and take back that lead.
We are 3 wide on the backstretch coming into turn 3, I think.
Got battles all over the track.
They kept it together, but we'll see how we do 1 and 2. Yeah, that's typically what you do see on these mile-and-a-half tracks. There's opportunities everywhere for trying to improve your position, but at the same time, it comes at a cost because that aggressive driving that you need to pick up that spot, you're going to sacrifice some tire wear.
For sure. Currently, one of the fastest cars out on track and in that 6th position, up 13 spots, is Nathan Harper in that 4. He is the only driver inside of the top 12 to be running still in the 30.4s. He could be somebody to keep our eye on here to see if maybe he's burned up his tires and will start falling back here in about 5 to 10 laps, or if he's just got that consistent pace.
Nathan Harper plus 13 spots finds himself just outside the top 5. That's a lot of traffic he has gone through to climb up to 6th. Oh, contact.
Very.
They were 3 wide on the backstretch, and we had some contact with the 12 of Aaron Jackson, the 85 possibly. But here we are. Oh, a little bit of off-track action there with the 88 of Christopher Howell. Got a little bit of grass. But here we are, lap 22. This is about where we begin to see definitely some traffic issues happening. I think Steven Gibson, the 97, was blinking a bit. That kind of winked our broadcast a little bit. That's that blue and white car right in front of the 12 of Aaron Jackson. Again, 3 wide. That's Ty Bostic. The 95 of Scotty Grove down low, and Garrett Johnston is the meat in that sandwich.
Power move there out of Grove to kind of take that position. Looks like Ty's going to try and come back at him at the top. Doesn't look like he quite has it. That was a really, really good move on the exit of 4 to get clear.
Scotty Grove trying to get back up. He qualified in, I think, in 9th. So he's now finding himself in 15th. He's got the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik there in front of him. Chuck is up 7.
Looks like Lilith is going to try and take that lead back from Fritz here. She looks to the bottom in turns 1 and 2.
Right, back up front with your leaders. You're right. Lilith finds her way to the low side, trying to get under the 06. Big move by the 01 to try to get an advantage on the 06 and get around.
Just seems like it's so hard to get that car to stick on exit on the bottom. Just feels like you're almost a little too tight at this point in the run to get it to work. Might have it here though. Chris Top. Oh, caution comes out as we say that.
Caution does come out. Looks like Dalton Shy may have been involved in an incident.
Yeah, big wreck in turn 1.
Yep, lots of drama back here. Looks like we've got a number of cars involved. Dalton Shy, Pete Woodrum, Ty Bostic, Zach Ward, Garrett Johnston, Luke Bullard, William Corinne, Cody Sturgill. Lots of drama. Let's see if we can go back and get some replay action here. Just like we talked about earlier, this 3 wide right there, you see the 15 coming across the nose of the 85. That's that 85. Let's get a mark on that's Dalton Shy, like we were talking about. Trying to get a chase here. Let's back that up just a little bit here. So you see the 15 just kind of coming up, and there was no place for the 85 to go. The 15 was not clear. Unfortunately, that pinches the 22 there. The 15 just gets toasted, and the 85 gets collected as well. Bostic, unfortunately, gets the worst of it.
Yeah, it just looked like the 15 thought there was a little more room to slide up to enter turn 1 than there was, and ended up just getting his right rear barely clipped, and obviously set off a chain reaction. Probably hurt a lot of good guys' cars.
All right, so while we were taking a look at that replay, pretty much the entire field has found their way down onto pit road, is currently getting service. Our first caution of the night happening here at lap 28. Probably a good time if you needed new tires.
Well, for sure. It looked like some of those guys were struggling. They'd fallen off almost a full second from their best lap times. And that first pit stall working out for Chris as he gets that lead right back from Lilith right after she took it away from him.
Looking on the current pit time, looks like everybody took 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco fuel. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back, and thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at Charlotte.
Hello, my name is Jack Raymondson. I manage business development here at Tech4Troops, and I'm my second year with this amazing veteran nonprofit owned and operated by veterans for veterans. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an amphibious assault crewman from 1992 to 1996. I also served in the U.S. Coast Guard from 2002 to 2007, joining after 9/11 as an operations specialist, then serving as an instructor at Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown. I also spent many years as a first responder volunteering as an EMT and fireman. I'm here at Tech4Troops because I believe in our mission to empower veterans and their families with the gift of computers and technology training, as well as our outreach to help curb veteran suicide while providing a safe and meaningful community where veterans are treated with respect and dignity. We are aiming for zero veteran suicide through gaming and other program opportunities. We help veterans regain a new sense of purpose and help them see they have a brighter future ahead of them. It truly is an honor and my pleasure to serve my fellow veterans and help give them a leg up. 2024 is Tech4Troops' 10th anniversary year, and I ask that you help us support our veterans and their families with a computer donation and or greatly needed financial contribution so we can help every last veteran in need. Together, you and Tech4Troops can be change makers. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast here. We are at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've under our first caution of the night here around lap 29. Christopher Howell is our leader. I'm sorry, Christopher Worrell is our leader, and will be the control car. He has selected the low line, and we're about to get back underway.
Interesting to see if his teammate behind him helps him and gives him a shove here.
Oh, big stack up and a little bit of contact and a wreck on the backside. That high line was not prepared. I don't think we are still under green, but that 12 car of Aaron Jackson wound up sideways. Well, he's back underway, pointing forward. Let's try to see if we can get a shot of just what happened on that replay.
Looks like it kind of started with Lilith in that first lane. I don't know if she got a bad shove from the 14 behind, but back end just got loose, wheel spun a little bit, and caused a massive checkup on that top lane.
We'll go back while this is underway here and see if we can just get a replay on that restart. Try to get a better shot. Not sure I've got one. Oh yeah. Well, let's go back just a little bit. Was it her that got the shove, or the 14? She definitely missed the mark. Got a bit of a shove from the 14. Got bumped
Hard
again.
to imagine that shove got her that loose on the start, though. I think she might have spun the tires or missed a shift a little bit or something.
But that really upset the entire outside line. And we'll jump to the 12 of Aaron Jackson here, who finds himself pointed the wrong way. Lots of cars going through the grass.
Definitely broke this field up for sure.
All right, back to live action here. We did not have a caution. That caution did not fly. Again, that's up to race control and to iRacing. So with no one stopping on the track, caution did not fly.
I think one key driver to watch through this run is going to be that 4 car again. First run, we watched him go from 19th all the way up into the top 10, knocking on the top 5 door. Now he's back to 9th place again, and looks like he's kind of about as far back as he was before, so we'll see kind of what he does throughout this run.
Keeping an eye on the 4, also right there is Charles Van Slyke in the 23. Finds himself in 10th. He's up 11 spots from his start.
Looks like we're mostly single file except for about the 3 car. Looks like he's battling pretty hard for about the 18th position.
So right now we're kind of back to how we started. You've got Morrell, Lowe, Jeff Nairn, and Lilith Peters. They were basically 1, 2, 3, 4 when we started this event. But Jeff Nairn now finds himself moving up, trying to take over that 2nd spot from the 07 of James Lowe. Contact on the wall.
A little bit there. One thing I did notice in that first run, it didn't look like Chris had the best fire off speed. It looked like his car really came to him around lap 15 in the run. We watched him go all the way back to 4th and then drive all the way back up and took the lead, but then Lilith started challenging after that. So interesting to see what adjustments these guys made in their driving styles to hopefully keep that pace going longer.
Yeah, especially if he began to, use up his pace, use up his stuff a little bit early. Maybe Lilith was doing a good job of saving and was able to execute that on the long run.
Oh, for sure. One thing Chris does have going for him is this clean air, and it's a fine line of how important that clean air is versus how fresh you want to keep your tires. It's a very tight rope to walk and very easy to overstep it.
Jeff Nairn finds himself right there in 2nd.
Only battle going on here in the top 10 is for that 9th position between Steven Gibson and Charles Yak. Looks like they're fighting pretty hard over 9th, maybe a little bit of contact even in 2.
Oh, that's Chuck Van Slyke right there in the 23, yeah. And he's got Steven Gibson to his outside in the 97.
Aggressive side drafting going on there, entering turn 3, trying to get clear up, just not quite able to do it.
Got the 19 of John Legend behind, and then front, the 4 of Nathan Harper. But they're still battling side by side. Also action further on back as well. There's some 2 wide action. So 28
might have
of,
a test in the lead room here as well.
all right, we'll jump up there in a second. You've got Bobby Gibson here and Alex Lidney right there battling side by side with Greg Stone, and up at the front. See, Jeff Nairn is trying to make an attempt here.
Got to his inside going into 1 and 2, just couldn't quite get it to wrap through there very well. Again, he has another great run coming off turn 4. See what he does with it.
Great run, lots of exit speed off of 4, and really use it to his advantage.
It's just really tough to make that bottom work. You can't let the car drift up as much and have to tug on that wheel, and just kills you down the back stretch.
The 06 comes across his nose and says, oh, not this time.
Yeah, the 06 is doing a really, really good job of keeping that clean air off of the nose of Nairn behind, just managing that clean air, not trying to let him get, too much clean air on that nose, making him really have to tug on that wheel to turn it.
Let's go ahead and jump in the cockpit of the 07, James Lowe. He's got these drivers right in front. Gear back up out of the throttle as they enter into the corner. Back on. We'll do a lap here with James. They know that battle, Jordan, between Morel and Nairn really allowed a lot of these drivers to catch up to them.
For sure. I mean, top 4 is kind of under a blanket as you see Lilith go to the top here, trying to take third away.
And she
Looks like
does.
she'll do it. Trying for second now as well. Great run out of 4.
They've got a little bit of lap traffic up here to the outside. That puts him 3 wide. That's Ty Bostic. He's going to find himself a lap down.
What a power move out of the 0-1 to go up there and take not only third but also second away.
Great run by the 01 of Lilith Peters. Now finds herself just behind our leader.
It was about that time in the run where she started to come on really strong as well. And started really challenging Chris, so we'll see if either of them have learned a thing or two about either Chris keeping her behind or if she's learned something about how to make the pass more effective.
We are 20 laps from our last lap. We went into the pits around lap 27. So they've got 20 lap old tires. Like you just saw, the 07 get slightly loose as it came out of 4.
Looking to the bottom here again, we'll see if she can pull that same move she pulled at the end of the last run.
Super strong. Now we've seen these two race last season as well. Big contenders.
A lot better position for her this time going into turn 1. Was able to keep it underneath Chris in 3 and 4. This looks like it could be your best opportunity here.
A little bit of side
Drift
draft
up a
in
little
for sure.
bit. Might allow the 07 to get a good run behind. We'll see what he does. He's going to the bottom of her, trying to take advantage of that. This is just some great racing out of this top 6 though. Top 6 separated by a mere half a second.
And every time you see these guys battling like that, that allows the rest of that top 6 to move up within striking distance. As you can see this group working their way around a lap car. That's the 85 of Dalton Shy, who was involved in that last incident.
It's like that 7th place car of Sammy Harrell's made up some ground on this top 6 or so. Just
Yep.
closing that gap down to Slagter pretty consistently here.
Also Justin Horton, he started in 13th, he's now scored right down with the 4th slot, he's up 9 spots. Mike Slogter slips back a little bit, he's got Jeff Nairn underneath him. He's trying to work his way back up, but with 20 plus laps on these tires, those runs you had, they're harder to come by.
Oh, for sure. Starting to see with that 01 drifting up a little bit out of the corners, not quite able to carry as much momentum down the back stretch and front stretch as she once was. And then here that's allowing Chris to kind of build not a safe, but a comfortable little gap.
So we're just past the halfway point of a fuel run, but we'll see how long, if they can stay out, if this turns into a green flag round of pit stops. That would be certainly exciting and will definitely completely shake up this field.
Once again, if we do get those green flag pit stops, making sure you maximize both pit in and pit out will be hyper important.
average lap right now around this track is just around 31 seconds or so. It's going to cost you about 41 seconds to get 42, 43 seconds to get on and off pit road at speed. So you're definitely going to go down a lap. That's just a given. It's timing and a little bit of luck. A little bit of luck, because you don't want to have a caution come out that kind of completely messes up your stop.
Sure, I mean, one lap fresher tires at this point in the run will gain you about a second on everybody that you're racing around. But again, with that big bump on the exit of pit road, it's not uncommon to see someone spin coming off of pit road. So you kind of play that gamble of if you hit a lap or two earlier than everybody else, if that caution does come out, you might have shot yourself in the foot.
Leaders are coming up, I think, on another lap down car. I think they're coming up on the 15. 15 is Garrett Johnston, who's involved in that earlier incident as well.
We also saw James Lowe there take away that second spot from Lilith Peters. See if he can go mount a charge on his teammate here.
Mike Slogter is back up to 4th. Justin
In that
Horton is
last
in 5th.
lap.
Go ahead.
That last lap, James Lowe was over a tenth faster than Chris. That could be a little bit of draft helping him, but it also could just be save those tires pretty well. So we'll have to see in these next coming laps if he's able to either one, push his teammate and help him try and get away from the guys behind, or if he tries and takes first for himself here.
So we are approximately 30 laps into this run. Few drivers are currently on pit road. Dustin Coggin is there making, he's there getting repairs from an earlier incident. You just saw Wyatt Gray on pit road getting some repairs done.
I mean, these top 6 or so have just kind of driven away from everybody else. I mean, 6th place is starting to drop off of this pack, but then it's a massive gap back to 7th. So these top 6 have kind of demonstrated their class on these long runs and their prolonged pace.
You saw the 15 of Garrett Johnson there. He's got some significant front end damage. The leaders have caught up to him. He's now blended into that row. He's got the 18 of Justin Horton. He takes the outside there. Lets the leaders kind of run their race. If you're not up to speed, that's just good sportsmanship. Kind of let the guys go by and stay out of their way.
Very, very good to see. You never want to see somebody's race kind of be ruined already, but at least he's out there, logging laps, might get a couple positions here towards the end, and most importantly, not messing up anybody else's race.
I think the first taker is the one of Pete Woodrum. He is on pit road. Slightly early, but also Sammy Harrell and Nathan Harper are both coming down pit road.
Yeah, they're kind of in that fuel window where they can make it from here on just one more stop. So I wouldn't be surprised to see kind of everybody else react here on the next couple laps. You might see Chris and James here run a lap extra with that gap that they've built now back to 3rd and 4th. But it's kind of go time now. So we see Chris duck off to pit road.
Yep, there's your leader on pit road. James stayed out. We'll stay with this camera. A lot of drivers on pit road. Worrell, Nairn, Gibson, Bullard, Packer, Uber Packer, Greg Stone, Zach Allen. So we're keeping an eye on your leader. Chris
Interesting
Worrell.
to see what these guys blend in comparison to Nathan Harper and those guys that pitted a little lap before. Interesting to see how much those guys are able to gain here.
Slightly longer stop. That was a 15.23 out of the 06 of Worrell. That puts Lilith Peters up into the lead. She has not made her stop yet. Right now, Lowe, Slogter, Grove, Horton, Hall, Cook all on pit road as we go through our first round of green flag pit stops, and here she comes.
I want to give a quick shout out to Chris. That was a great pit in and pit out. Nathan Harper pitted a whole lap earlier than he did and did not gain a single bit of time on him. So, oh, and we got one spinning on the exit of pit road.
Huh, is that
Looks like
the
it's James Lowe.
James Lowe?
That's going to put a damper on what was a great run for him.
Absolutely, it's going to put him in the back.
Oh, and caution comes out.
Man,
Oh, big crash in 1 and 2.
Rodney Uberpacker involved. He sits there on the track. Philip Vandertwijk possibly as well. I think most of everybody has. There are a few drivers that are still trapped on pit road, but mostly everybody made it through. Let's go back and see if we can see just what happened.
Rick, I think it's that bump that we talked about in the pre-race. Looks like he hit it, got a little loose, and then just overcorrected up into the racetrack, and really feel bad for it. I think that's the 17, just nowhere for him, or the 64 to go.
Yep, 64, the 48, and the 17th. We'll go back, and that is the 48 of Philip Vandertwijk. Let's go back, and you can see him coming out of pit road, and he hit that bump exactly in the grass and overcorrected, and here we go. Unfortunately, he becomes an obstacle that gets just trashed.
I mean, that can go out and nab anybody. I mean, we watched it nab James Lowe, and he was running in second place. It's very, very easy to do. It's just unfortunate whenever it does indeed happen.
All right, so we're under caution only for the second time tonight, right about the halfway point in tonight's race, for an incident involving the 48 of Phil Vandertwijk. Rodney Uberpacker, I think, was involved as well. See if those guys are able to get repairs made and get back up on the track. But we're going to take an opportunity for another commercial break. We will be right back.
Hi, America. I'm Mark Casper, President of Tech4Troops. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for making 2023 such an amazing year. We completed our mission, and it feels good to have another successful year behind us. But I want to tell you, this year, 2024, is our 10th anniversary. 10 years of doing this mission, and you have been so supportive of us. So I want to take a moment to say, please continue to support us. We're going to have an event or more every month. Please stay tuned in our calendar. Please stay tuned on our social media. Join us in the celebration of our mission and what we do. And we look forward to seeing you and having your support for our mission of ending veteran homelessness through bridging the technology divide. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. We're here at Charlotte. We are at our second caution of the night for a spin off of pit road, and pretty much at the tail end of our first round of green flag pit stops. And unfortunately, that little bump that's right there coming off of pit road collected two drivers. One just got his feelings hurt and lost some position. That was the 07 of James Lowe. Unfortunately, for the 48 of Phil Vandertwijk, it threw him into the grass and then up onto the racing surface, and the 17 actually had nowhere to go. That's Rodney Uberpacker. He unfortunately collecting himself and hitting him head on. So fortunately, that may have ended his night. We'll see if he can get some repairs made and get back up on the track. But so far, a pretty good race, Jordan.
No, for sure. We've seen comers and goers. We've seen people not so good in the first 20 laps, but then come on really strong at the end. That caution might have saved some people, but it definitely shook up the running order for sure. James Lowe, who was contending, he was the other guy who hit that bump that you were talking about, Rick. He's back to 20th now, so it'll be interesting to see how he can work his way back up there. And then this is also gave that lead right over to Lilith Peters, so we'll see what she's able to do with some clean air here.
Absolutely. So Lilith finds herself up there in one, and she'll be the control car on the restart. We also, looking through our records, Ryan D. Cook was also hit with a black flag penalty. He may have been, I'm assuming, speeding through that round of of pit stops. He'll have to serve that when we go back to green flag racing. Chuck Van Scoik finds himself in P2 on this restart. We'll see if he can get that second line working. But from what I'm seeing, Lilith has chosen the high line.
Yeah, this could be a play to try and kind of curb some of the speed we've seen out of Chris Worrell here. I've done it too personally. You see kind of, who's third and fourth and see who's going to be a bigger challenge to you and pick opposite of them and hopefully trap them behind the other person. So we'll see if that works out for her.
Yep, so she'll find Chuck Van Scoik to her inside. That puts Chris Worrell back there in 3, Mike Slaughter in 4, right behind her. Now, if you recall, Mike Slaughter was, I think, behind her when she got bumped on that last restart. We'll see if she has a better restart this time.
It looks like they are going to extend this to one more lap of pacing. Seems like we're having some iRacing issues with the lineup here, so it might take another lap to get back to green flag racing.
Not unexpected. That definitely occasionally happens when we find ourselves with some cars trapped on pit road during a round of pit stops and the caution flies. We've seen that happen before.
Yeah. And we'll see if Lilith can get a better restart. Like you did say, you are correct. That 14 was the car behind her whenever she had that unfortunate restart earlier. Only this time is she gets to be the control car. So we'll see if that difference allows her to get a little better restart this time.
It should. Well, the lights are off on our pace car, which means next time we go by, we'll be underway. That'll put us at lap 68 on the restart, so we're just past the halfway point. Good racing so far here at Charlotte. And just for those listening, this is our 6th race here of Season 5. And next week, this league will find themselves at Sonoma Raceway. I don't believe we are broadcasting their road race next week, but we'll pick it up on the race that follows, which will be at Texas Motor Speedway.
This race is any indication of how good Texas will be. I think y'all are in for a very good treat there.
Looking forward to it for sure. So tomorrow we'll be at Bristol for the INRS Series. That's the last round of 16 race, and then following week will be the round of 12, and we'll be at Kansas.
Should be exciting. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, Kansas is a fun track. All right, about to get this back underway here. Lilith is in charge as she enters the Geico restart zone.
Like a big shove from the third car on the outside to the second place car, ultimately to Lilith, and shoots her out there with a pretty commanding lead.
Big bump as well, the 06 to the 23.
Quickly get single file here up towards the front. Now they start to fan out going off into turn 3.
A bit of wall contact there with the 14. Six stays high.
Looks like he'll take over second there. Looking now to chase down Lilith here in the right lead.
See if you learned anything from the way that she took the position away when she was behind him.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how Chris is going to play this. It looks like he has one of the best. Yeah, for sure. It's kind of important as you see Chris do a great job of it there. Slides up a little on exit, looking to the top, not quite there. He's trying to get that left front poked out just a little bit lower than what Lilith is running. Trying to get some clean air on that car, help it to turn a little bit, and hopefully keep those tires on it.
Right underneath her rear bumper there.
Looks like we're single file in the top 10 all the way back till about 10th. Then we got about a 3-car battle there.
Not enough. thought he had it, but
Looks like these top three are starting to pull away just a skosh from fourth place here. So one little misstep will bring them to almost pull away from him there.
good racing amongst these top three. But the 18 of Justin Horton and the 14 of Mike Slaughter are right there waiting.
Looks like James Lowe, the car who was running second until he hit that bump, restarted in 19th, and he hasn't been able to move at all. He's still stuck back there in 19th, just trying to find any way to kind of get back up there towards the front.
And he's got a lot of drivers back there that are also battling for position. You know, Nathan Harper finds himself back there as well, sitting in 14th. All good drivers, but back in traffic. It's hard to pass here in Charlotte.
Yeah, it seems like track position is going to be very, very key. You know, wouldn't be surprised if these next round of pit stops, some of these guys further back try and short pit it as soon as they get into the fuel window, maybe try 2 tires, something like that to try and get track position, because it looks like it is almost impossible to pass whenever you get to about 13th on back.
So mathematically, we think that fuel window sits somewhere about lap 85, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty close. Granted, these guys do. Still, I mean, we're 15 laps into a tire run for most of these drivers, and this top 3 is still under a blanket. So we'll have to see if that can maintain itself over the next 10 to 15 laps before that pit window kind of starts to widen open for these guys.
For those folks watching here live on whatever stream you're using, we apologize for the stream. Bear with us. We're having some technical issues with our internet service provider. We'll hope it takes care of itself. But we're at the mercy of the weather and spectrum.
Looks like once again the field starting to get pretty strung out here. Only side.
Lilith Peters continues the lead. She's got Chris Worrell on her tail. Chuck Van Scoik sits there in 3rd, and Justin Horton in 4th. Mike Slaughter is in 5th.
On there, and then it's just, you know, pretty sizable gaps between cars from there on back, so they get around the mid-teens. To pull up alongside him and maybe take away 2nd place here.
As long as they run side by side, that will also allow those folks behind to potentially catch up and
the run where we saw Chris really start to thrive in that last run and start to almost drive away from everybody else. Not quite seeing the same thing here. I don't know if that's a factor of dirty air or not. But that, I mean, that top 5 is just mad.
Struggle with trying to take positions back. You know, you don't want to give up position. And certainly not the last one.
Looks like we got a hornet's nest kind of brewing back here around 13th. Got 4 cars, 2x2 here, starting with Nathan Harper in the 4.
Yep, divide Jeff Nairn, Jeremy Flanagan, Nathan Harper's there. To the low side is the 72 of Jeremy Flanagan with the 5. I'm not actually sure who that paint scheme is. I think that's Zach Allen. May show up as a 24. But that's also where the 07 of James Lowe finds himself, as he tries to make up some spots, working his way back up to the front.
He hasn't moved up quite as fast as I would have expected. We've seen Nathan Harper, he was back there with him, and he's all the way now up into the top 10, up into 9th. So interesting to see kind of what drivers
contact.
are.
The 07 just got spun into the The 5, they are going around and come back down. Oh, big wreck. 14's
Big
involved. 7
contact.
is just toast. The 07 is toast. That brings out the third caution right here at lap 90, which, well, we don't have to speculate on pit stops anymore. This is pretty much going to be the end of it right now.
Commentator's curse strikes again.
We play that game every week, and we always lose.
Unfortunate for the 41, the 12, and the 46. 07 just kind of came back down the track and nowhere for those 3 guys to go, and they ended up with some pretty substantial damage.
All right,
It's
let's
like the
go
41
back and
caught the brunt of it.
try to see just what happened to James Lowe. Now let's back that up. All right, we'll take a peek here. You see the 5 down up high. The 07 is running that low line. 05's holding his line. The 7 comes up. Then the 5 comes down just a tiny little bit. You know, there really wasn't much contact there. It was just a tiny little bit of what we call netcode. That's just part of the computer simulation here. You see, they don't actually touch to start with, but the computer predicts that you would have contacted, and so unfortunately, they wind up wrapping around each other. And you'll see from this angle, if they had just stayed there, it wouldn't be so bad, but unfortunately, the 07 winds up coming down. And that's Alex Linney. I think that there's contact, the 12 of Jackson, and then the 46 unfortunately gets collected in, and that's Ryan Cook. So that's unfortunate, but that's racing, right?
Yeah, one of those unfortunate netcode deals. Definitely looked like a little bit of it. Looked like the 5 on screen definitely came down a little bit. Just unfortunate for the 3 other guys who got caught up in it. Just kind of one of those wrong place, wrong time situations.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are on lap 93 in only our 3rd caution of the night because of an incident between the 07 of James Lowe and the 5. Just double check and make sure I get my names right. That's Zach Allen. And unfortunately, a few other drivers were collateral damage in that, but that pit stop happened just when that caution happened just when they needed to have, or what we would expect it to have been, some green flag pit stops. So now everybody has fuel and tires enough to make it through to the end.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting. We've seen some cars be really, really good in that first 20 laps of the run. Some cars not so great until about lap 25, 30 in the run. We're only going to have about 30 laps to go whenever we take the green. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that dynamic plays out of how much tires you want to save and how much you just want to go for track position.
Well, with 30 laps left and a number of laps here that we're ticking off still under caution, you can pretty much you can almost use up everything getting what you need, but then you'll have nothing at the end.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we've seen all night on these runs is, the 0-1, the 4, the 14, the 23, they're all really, really strong for those first 20 laps. And it seems like Chris Worrell in the 06 just isn't quite as good as them in those first 20 laps, but then it swings back in his favor. And that one run that we saw go all the way to pit stops, he started to pull away over a second back to them. So I think you can definitely burn them up a little too much in this 30-lap run. It's just if you get a caution after about 15 or 20 laps, everybody's going to come down for at least 2 tires, I would think. So it's kind of that gamble that you got to play of, do I want to burn them up and hope for a caution, or play it smart and see if we can get them at the end?
Yeah, and that doesn't really play well into Chris Worrell's, the way his car has been running tonight. You almost want to be super fast and have a good, fast front end run to at least find your position.
Yeah, we haven't seen him push it too hard yet early, so he might have something that we haven't seen up his sleeve here, but I guess we're going to find out.
Yes, we will. All right, the lights are off on the pace car, which means next time by lap 95, we'll be back to green, giving us really just 30 laps to go.
It'll be entertaining.
All right, back under green. Lilith gets a good jump on the inside this time.
Top 6 with a pretty good jump. Have a decent gap back to P7.
This running side by side between 2, 3, 4, 5 back there really just plays well for Lilith.
Looked like the 14 caught the wall there out of 2. He lost a lot of positions, and they're crashing in the back.
The 81 goes around. It's like the 72. Ryan Crick, Christopher Howell as well may have been involved in that incident.
It looks like the 81 and 72 traded some paint going down into turn 3, which is what kicked this all off.
See if we can get a better shot of these two. Yep. Unfortunately, a little bit of contact with the left rear on the 72 and the 81 just backs the 72 right into the wall. Major damage. That pretty much eliminates, I think, that 72.
Yeah, it looks like they just came together right at that mesh point of entering the corner. Maybe one guy coming down just a skosh, one guy not quite going down yet, and obviously some people ended up with some really big damage after this one.
See the 46 and the 28 involved as well. All right, we'll go back to live action here as a number of drivers are making their way down onto pit road. Jeremy Flanagan's also on pit road trying to get some repairs made, but that puts us back under caution. We'll see what starting position Lilith takes this time.
Chris has done a good job from that second place spot, being able to maintain it on these restarts. That's not an easy thing to do, but Lilith is just getting absolutely unbelievable launches right now and just gapping them by the exit of turn 2 right now.
So with this caution coming super close to that last one, we'll go back to green flag racing, really probably close to nearly with 25 laps to go. It's going to be anybody's race. You can just run it as hard as you want and you'll have enough. Now, that being said, if we wind up with more cautions or a green-white checker, that could change things. But, if you're looking for opportunity and position, I think you got to go for it.
Yeah, I definitely think with that caution coming out so quickly, I think it's changed a lot of these drivers' mindset as far as what they're willing to do now. That just shortened the run by about 3 to 4 laps, which I think just freed up a lot of people to be able to go full bore and really give it their all here for these last 25 laps.
All right, we're back under caution here. Our 4th caution of the night between the incident that happened at the tail end of the field between the 81 of William Caron and the 72 of Jeremy Flanagan. A couple of drivers also got some collateral damage there. But we are just, well, we'll be about 25 laps to go once we go back under the green flag. And we'll see the conclusion of the Tech4Troops Cup Series here at Charlotte. Well, Jordan, it's been good having you in the booth. Enjoy bringing a new broadcaster, but yourself, you know, it's been fun broadcasting you on Thursday nights. If you haven't seen Jordan race, tune in on Thursday nights with the INRS Racing Series.
Cutoff race at Bristol tomorrow. Really tight cut line battles. We have 3 drivers tied just above the cut line, 3 points above it. 3 guys tied for that spot. So probably going to be a bit chaotic. It's Bristol, but a lot of storylines to follow.
Absolutely, and you know, you can keep up with that storyline too if you are interested. They do a pretty good podcast, kind of recapping that week's race with a number of drivers. So you can find that podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, it's called the Hot Lap. A couple drivers, Clark Franz, Vernon Broadbeck, Corey Bunch, and Tony Japs, and special co-host Michael Whitley. They do a great job with that. It's a good listen every week. But lights are off on the pace car, Rick. It's the go time now.
It sure is. Lilith has taken that low line. That worked for her last time. She got Howell to the outside. Pretty much the same. Well, no, slightly different now because you've got the 18 of Justin Horton behind Chris Worrell.
Yeah, the 14 had a really bad turn 2 there on that last restart, and he lost a good amount of positions. He's back to 7th now, so interesting to see if he's able to make his way back up into that dominant top 5 that we've seen all night. Definitely going to make his journey a little tougher.
You got the 4 of Nathan Harper finding himself closer to the front. He coincidentally is also a teammate of the 01, so they could see if they can get together and do something with these last 25 laps.
Yeah, we've seen Nathan be really, really strong in the short run, especially early in the race, going from 19th into the top 10 multiple times. So see what he can do with some track position now.
All right, pace car has dropped off. Entering the Geico restart zone, and we are underway here. The 06 kind of anticipated that restart.
He got a really, really good jump there. If he can stay on that outside of the 01 here on the exit of 2, he might have a chance. Oh, it's going to be tight.
Nope, she was able to get in front, but he's looking for a spot.
He's got position on her going into 3. Oh, he
Can't
gets tight.
hold it.
23's able to get underneath him now.
This is the battle we thought we would see at this point. Now it's tight contact between the 23 and the 06.
Multiple drivers looking to make it 3 wide, but thought better of it. And now we're seeing man out in 1 and 2.
I think they're still thinking they're 3 wide coming out. Oh, a little bit of contact with the 04 with the 97 of Stephen Gibson.
97 just shoved I think that's the 15 off into 3.
18 is still struggling. There's the spin again. 27 goes around. Jeff Nairn goes around. We're still under green. Jeff Nairn slides through. Oh, and comes to a stop on the front stretch. We're still green. Back
Looks like he's going to be able to get it rolling.
All right, we survived that. We're now 24 laps to go. Single wide on the front stretch. Lilith Peters out in front. Bit of a battle here with the 23 and the 06.
That 4 car, he's been strong on these short runs. Now he finds himself in 4th. Interesting to see what he can do in these last 23 laps.
Peters out in front. They're single file. Pretty much all the way back to the middle of this field. 22 cars on the lead lap. The 27 of Jeff Nairn finds himself at the end of the line of the cars on the lead lap. Tough for the 27 after that incident.
Looks like the 14's looking to the inside here of the 97. That's for 5th.
bullet in 3 just behind them.
Thought about going to the inside of the 06 there, got a little tight and thought better of it. See if the 4 has anything to do here, got a little run on him.
Battling here at the front, that's Peters, Morrell, Van Skyke, and Harper.
This 23 is really, really strong on the exit of 2. He's able to keep it lower coming out of the corners as opposed to letting it drift up. Just gave a big shove to that 06 who goes to the top now of the 01.
23 trying to put his foot down and work his way around the 06.
Just looks like the 06 is a little tight at a 2 right now, just not quite able to do what he wants with the car. And it's allowing that 23 to get some pretty big runs. Better there, but we'll see what he can do next lap.
Oh, a little loose, actually.
Almost able to keep it on the right rear there of the 01. Was able to get there in the center of the corner, just not quite able to get the drive off that he needed.
19 laps to go here at Charlotte. '06 tries to find a way, dives down low.
23 lifted there for the 06 to let him get back up. Saw the flame shoot out of the exhaust pipes there. Smart move by both of them to not tear up those cars. And Chris is really just searching right now for that clean air, kind of going wherever that 01 doesn't go. But that 23 is really, really strong on corner exit right now as well.
Yeah, he seems to pick up almost half a car length each time by, but just is not able to close the deal. Of course, he kind of lifted and saved himself the last time.
Yeah, it just looks like the 06 doesn't quite get off the corner quite as good as the rest of them, but it could also be because he's having to defend from behind. Not quite able to go full on attack mode when you want to keep second place.
The 4 of Nathan Harper is also seen there just kind of waiting. He's right there behind the 23 of Van Skyke.
Top 4 kind of separated themselves. 5th place trying to hang on. Lilith is able to just get such good drive up off these corners to keep that 06 behind her right now. Here comes that 23 looking to the bottom. Looks like Chris got tight on corner exit again.
23 was able to take advantage of it. Can he hold it? There's nearly contact between those two.
Chris is just good enough in 3 and 4, it seems like, to keep him behind him for now. 23 might be able to side draft here a little bit and have a better run at it this lap.
I think you're exactly correct, Jordan. He's able to get a little bit better run.
Just so hard with that car on the top of you. You're not able to open up the wheel like you normally can, have to keep cranking on it. Just so hard to make that pass on the bottom.
It's like Lilith came down and kind of shut the door a little bit.
Yeah, she's doing a really good job of aero blocking right now, but as we say that 4 car now finds himself up into 3rd. He's been looking awfully sporty these last couple laps. Looking out of the top of Chris. Looks like he'll get there too.
That 4 is a teammate of the 01, so that is teammates 1 and 2 right now, with Nathan Harper finding himself in 2nd position. Nathan Harper, I'm going to say, I think he won last week here, so.
Looks like Chris is just a little too tight right now. Might have abused that right front a little bit too much early trying to get around Lilith, and now he's paying the price for it. He's back to 4th, and Nathan's just doing a really good job of ripping that top. Just going to be really hard to pass without having that clean air. And a new face up into the top 5. That looks like the 3 car of Luke Bullard. First time we've seen him in the top 5 all night, I believe. So he's starting to come on here late.
Lilith Peters continues to lead here at Charlotte. Nathan Harper in second. Chuck Van Skyke in third. Luke Bullard finds himself in fourth, and Chris Worrell finds himself in fifth. He just beat the heck out of that car, working hard to get around Lilith. It just did not pay off.
That 3 car's looking awfully sporty right now in fourth. That last lap, he was 2/10 faster than everybody else in the top 5 as he goes to the top again, looking to get third.
Luke Bullard's a Carolina boy. He knows this track very well.
He's showing that for sure. He's definitely the fastest car on track right now. So we see Chris kind of following him up through there, back up into fourth. That shuffles Charles down back to fifth.
That puts Luke Bullard into third place. He's got 10 laps to go to try and get around these two and try to find his way into victory lane.
That last lap, he was another 10th faster than those 2 cars in front of him. So he definitely has some pace that he saved up in those tires right now.
You know, we've also got another tournament going on in this league, and right now the tournament is Lilith Peters versus Nathan Harper on one side of the bracket, and on the other side you've got Luke Bullard and Mike Slogter.
Those are some tight battles, first and second. Oh, now it looks like Luke's going for second here on Nathan. Slagter found himself back up in the 6th after that bad restart earlier.
Bullard finds himself taking over in the second position with just 8 laps to go.
He's coming, Rick. He's the fastest car on track by light years right now.
He has found his way. He's found his line. Can he capitalize on that as he finds himself between 2 teammates?
It'll be interesting to see what Lilith decides to do here in 1 and 2. Luke's been running the top here recently. Looks like he's sticking to the bottom. Almost into the wall there by Luke. He's Kyle Larsing it right now.
Laps are ticking away though. Both drivers that time by ran a 30.58.
Looks like Chris is able to slide up just barely in front of that 4 car and take third back. Looks like Chris has found some rejuvenated life in those tires. He was the fastest car in the top 5 that last lap.
He must have had to let them cool off a little bit to try and get back up there.
Looks like Luke might be trying to do the same here, running the bottom a couple laps in a row here now. Might have just taken a little too much life out of him running the top like he was.
All right, 6 laps to go. Peters, Bullard, Worrell, Harper, and Slogter. Each driver trying to not make a mistake here, but also find their way around with just a few laps to go.
I'm telling you, I think it's going to be hard to beat Lilith. That clean air advantage is just king, and Chris was the fastest car on track that last lap, and he's still got to get around the 3, so it's going to be interesting to see. Looks like he's looking to the inside here into turn 1.
He's up under a guy. He has an advantage, but see if the 3 will let it happen or he'll battle back.
Not quite able to stay on the inside there. We'll see what he does here in 3 and 4. Looking back to that inside.
Those left
Oh,
side
he's tight.
tires.
Has the lift out of it.
Yeah, he found he had the his left side tires down right under the stripe. That kind of unsettled the car. Looking on back. That puts Bullard right there by himself, and now they're battling for third. Mike Slogter tries to find a way to get around the 4 of Nathan Harper.
Looks like that battling was able to give Lilith the gap that she needed. Pretty comfortable gap now, sitting at 0.3 of a second, coming to 2 laps to go.
Laps to go here at Charlotte. This race is pretty much Lilith to lose at this point. Same with Bullard. He finds himself in a great podium opportunity. The battle for third is real.
Slagter's been coming alive these last couple laps compared to those around him. Interesting to see what happens there, but Lilith Peters with a commanding lead coming to take this white flag.
Final lap here at Charlotte. Lilith Peters, Luke Bullard, Mike Slaughter, Nathan Harper. The battle right there is for third between Harper and Slaughter. Don't rule out the fact that Scotty Grove in the 95 is right there as well.
Slagter able to clear there off of turn 2.
Does a great job of blocking.
But Lilith Peters with a commanding last 30 laps and takes this one by 0.7 of a second.
Great finish. There's your winner. We'll get you the final roundup. Once all the results come in. But great race by Lilith Peters. Good showing by Luke Bullard getting P2. Mike Slaughter, same, also up podium finish. So again, once we get the final results, and they are posted. All right. See what we got here. Here we go. All right, top. Here's our finish. Lilith Peters wins the Charlotte, the Tech4Troops Cup Series event here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Luke Bullard in second, Mike Slagter in third, Nathan Harper in fourth, Scotty Grove finishes in fifth. Good finish by Scotty. Chris Worrell in sixth, Chuck Van Scoik in seventh, John Ledger eighth, Stephen Gibson in ninth, and Sammy Harrell finishes in 10th.
Christoph Hall in 11th, Greg Stone in 12th, Cody Sturgill in 13th, Pete Woodrum in 14th, Ryan Cook in 15th, Zach Ward in 16th, Bobby Gibson finishes 17th, Jeremy Flanagan in 18th, Jeff Nairn in 19th, and Justin Horton in 20th.
In 21st, Garrett Johnson. 22nd is William Corinne second. Aaron Jackson in 23rd. Christopher Howell in 24th. David Watts in 25th. In 26th, Zach Allen. Ty Bostic in 27th. Alex Linney in 28th. James Lowe in 29th. And Wyatt Gray in 30th.
Philip Vandertwick in 31st. In 32nd, Rodney Uberpacker. In 33rd, Dalton Schlee. And in 34th, rounding out the field, Dustin Coggin.
All right, that's our finish here at Charlotte. We'll have those drivers in the booth momentarily. Let's see if we can find Mike. We got Mike. Give me a second here.
Usually.
Mike, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Hey, appreciate it, Rick. Good to see you guys.
Man, we were watching that. The battle was definitely for third. You had your hands full.
Oh, man, alive. Yeah, I'm hands are sore after that. She was gripping the steering wheel. That was a good race. I'm glad it ended clean and nobody got into each other. No hurt feelings or nothing. Just a good, hard race.
Well, definitely a good showing for Southern E Motorsports with both you and Luke right there.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, tough luck for a couple. Jeff Nairn and Ty got caught up a little earlier in the race and could never get back. So tough luck for them, but yeah, good for me and Luke. Good day for us. So
absolutely. Any shout outs tonight, Mike?
Yeah. First off, all my teammates over at Southern E and wife and kids watching the race in the living room. You guys for all you guys do, and Elliot and Evan and the rest of them guys in race control, keeping us all in check. So appreciate it, guys. Tech4Troops as well.
You got it. All right, let's see if we can bring in your teammate. Luke Bullard, congratulations on your finish.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Man, we were watching, and Jordan will chime in as well. Towards those last 15 laps, you had something.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, I'm either really good right here or I'm really messing up. I didn't know if those guys in front of me were holding back a little bit for the last, 6 or 7 laps or what. And I said, well, if I got a chance to get there, I got to take it while I got it. So I figured I'd get as many spots as I could. And if I run out of tire, I'd just try and hold off whoever was behind me. But it worked out pretty good. Just didn't have anything for Lilith there at the end.
Now, Luke, you restarted 10th there on that last restart. Kind of walk us through, what your mindset was. It was hard to pass all night, but it seemingly there at the end, you were like a hot knife going through butter. So kind of walk us through your mindset there as to how you were setting cars up and picking them off one by one.
Well, my main focus was I knew we had about 28, 30 laps somewhere in there. I knew we had a full run ahead of us, and you couldn't go wide open off the rip. So I knew we had to be a little strategic on tire wear and trying to save something for the last 7 or 8 laps. And I felt like I just kind of set back a little bit, and then I didn't feel like I picked the pace up a whole lot. It was almost like some of those guys started coming to me, and the outside line was just working. You could really get a run off the quarter, especially in 2 going down the back. And I don't know, man. It just worked out. It was kind of odd, honestly. I kind of surprised myself.
You were absolutely flying there at the end, man. That was very fun to watch.
I appreciate it.
You got it. Shout outs tonight, Luke.
Yeah, Tech4Troops, Southern E Motorsports, all those guys. They keep it fun throughout the week, and you just have a good time together. Hats off to Mike. I know we were in the bracket against each other. That kind of sucked, but it was cool to get a finish right there, second and third, and good for team points, him being a teammate and all. So shout out to all those guys.
Well, that puts I think you and Lilith in the top of the bracket, the final matchup. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, I can have another run like that and at least make it interesting, I should say.
All right. Well, there you have it. There's Luke Bullard finishing in second. Let's bring Lilith Peters into the broadcast booth. And Lilith, congratulations. Great win at Charlotte.
Thank you. Bye.
Tell us a little bit about, we were watching and commenting a bit during the race on your restart. You picked the high line, one restart, and then stuck with the low line. Give us a little bit that last restart and how that race came together towards the end for you.
Really, track position was most important. So when I got lucky there, coming out of pits, all I needed to do was hold it, and I almost failed at that. So I'm glad I held it together for a win.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly an important win for you tonight. That also you had a battle with your own teammate in the bracket challenge, and that puts you winning your side of the bracket. That puts you and Luke battling for the win of that bracket. I'm not sure if that could be at Texas. We'll have to go back and double check when that next race is for the bracket.
Yeah, Texas. I did not do good there last season, so Luke might get a diecast, but I'll try my best here.
You got it. Any shout-outs tonight, Lilith?
Yeah, I'll shout out my teammates, Jeremy and Nathan and Chad, even though he had to miss today. And thank my sponsor, Luna Steak Sauce, at foxfirefoods.com. You can use that code in my SDK to get a discount since I won. And thanks to Chris for racing me nicely when he could have Dale Earnhardted my ass out of the way.
Yeah, no, you guys, just a great, clean race, and definitely congratulations on your win tonight. It was well-deserved.
Thanks for broadcasting, guys. Good night.
You got it. Thank you. All right, there's your winner, Lilith Peters, tonight here in Charlotte at the for Tech4Troops. Jordan, any final words tonight?
I mean, just a great display of defensive driving from Lilith there at the end, having to hold off multiple hard chargers. Chris at the beginning of that last run, then it turned into Nathan for a bit, then Luke charging like a bat out of hell at the end. Just an absolutely great display of driving there. And then overall, I mean, the race was majorly clean, so it was a good race to make my first broadcast on. And then, obviously thanks for letting me do this with you.
You got it. We'll certainly look to you again in future opportunities. So there you have it, folks. Great race tonight here in Charlotte. The winner, Lilith Peters, tonight. And next week they will be at Sonoma. We won't be here, but we'll pick them back up in Texas. So for Jordan and myself, we say thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support and hope to see you next week. So good night.